Hello and welcome to episode 13 of the Rocket League Mapmaking tutorial series. Today we're going to be talking about how to make animated textures. Now you might have seen a video on Twitter that I posted a while ago by now where I made a dice block with an animated texture on it. And I'm going to show you how that animated texture works because animated textures are actually really simple once you know the process. So I'm going to show you in a short amount of time how to do something like that. First thing is that you're going to have Adobe Flash for this. So if we go into Adobe Flash, we're going to be using it. So if you don't have it, you're going to need to go get it. And you can also get, if you're into Creative Cloud, you can also get Animate, which does the same thing. It just creates a Swift file, which is what we're going to need. So what I have here is just a timeline with all of the numbers 1 through 10. And if I hit Control Enter and play it, you can see it just cycles through the numbers. And it takes 1 second to get through all 10 numbers because it's 10 FPS. And every single number is just a PNG. And all of these images are also allow smoothing and lossless PNGs. And that's it for the Flash file. So basically, in order to make an animated texture, you just need to set up a Flash timeline with what you want to have animated. So if you want to make a stickman, just frame 1, and then animate it to frame 2, and then all the way till however long you want it. The only thing to know about this is that Flash does have a limit with how many images you can send, and it has to do with how much RAM it can take. I don't really know exactly what the limit is, but you can't just set up like a video with like 700 frames. Like, you're gonna have to do some workarounds in order to get something like that to work. Maybe like make 100 frames and then make a second 100 frames and then split it up into like 7 flashes. But that's going to be a lot of work if you want to do a video like that. But for the dice block, this is it. So once you go into UDK, you can just find wherever you have that Flash file saved, which I'm going to import it real quick and I'll be back. Now, if you don't remember the process for how to import a Swift, I can just go over it really quickly. So I'm going to create a new subsequence and name it animated texture. Just like that. And then we are going to GFX and then open GFX movie. And I've already done a full tutorial on how to use flashes. So if you know this part, you can pretty much just skip. And then we're just going to select it in the content browser and then hit that green arrow. And it's going to set it up for us. And then we are going to move or rename it into tutorial series version 2. Okay to all. And then after it moves it in just a second, hopefully, yep, there it goes. We're going to restart UDK, so I'll be right back. All right, and when we open it back up, you're going to see that the HUD is imported correctly. And if we go into our Kismet and then go to animate texture, you can see that it renames it to tutorial series version 2, which is exactly what we want. Now, to make it a texture, it's a really simple thing. All you need to do is right click in the content browser somewhere, not on top of something, just in a gray area, and then add new texture render target 2D. And then name it whatever you want. I'm just going to name it animated texture. And then for the height and width, you can make this whatever you want, but obviously keep it powers of 2s. So I'm just going to make it 1K because that's what the images are. You can see right here, stream 1024 by 1024. So I'm just going to make the animated texture the same. But I could make this bigger or smaller if I really wanted to. Alright, and then after it creates it, you're going to see that it's going to be a green box. And do not panic, it's supposed to be a green box. And then you can leave everything as normal, or you can change these to clamp if you really want to. If you don't want it to repeat, you can change these to clamp, it doesn't really matter. But now this is a texture that you can manipulate with the GFX. And in order to set that up, you just click on it in the content browser, and then go to the GFX movie, and then right here under render texture, just click that green arrow, and now it's hooked up. Texture render target 2D, animated texture, just like that. And then now we can save, so we keep that progress. You can also go right here and change the blend mode. So if you change it to alpha composite, I'm pretty sure we'll take PNGs into account. I haven't really tested that much, but I know opaque is going to work for what I want. Next thing we need to do is create the animated texture. So we're going to go to Engine Debug Textures, and then we're going to find Texture, Paint to Text Color, create Material Instance Constant, and I've already have a tutorial on this too on how to make custom textures. This time we're just doing it with a green box. And then we're going to name it animated texture underscore MIC. MIC stands for Material Instance Constant. And then it's going to create it right there, right next to all the animated texture stuff because we kept it the same name. And I'm just going to get rid of that because I don't care about it. And then parameter groups, texture parameter groups. I'm going to make this way bigger and this a lot smaller. There we go. And then take the animated texture and just put it into the diffuse, just like that. And so now we have a green texture, just like that. And it's going to remain green until we open it. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it on a plane. So I'm going to take this plane and just put it over here somewhere. Trying to get it perfect 90 degrees. And then this is actually perfectly UV'd. So I'm going to make it a square. And then we just drag that material instance just like that. And it's going to turn that to green. So now we can actually do this in the level. We don't actually have to go into Rocket League for this to test it. But you can go level loaded into OpenGFX Movie. And then we can go right here and play in the editor by hitting this blue play area. And then we can look at the plane and there it is. It's upside down. So I'm going to just quickly rotate it 180. And just like that, it's going to count all the way up. And it's going to do this in Rocket League too. You can load it in for yourself. I'm not going to. But this is how you do animated texture. You just set up a Flash timeline and then tell it to render on a texture, and then put the texture into material, and then put the material on whatever you want to be animated. And that's it. It's really simple once you know the process. That's going to be the end of this episode. I hope that you found it useful and that you can use some animated textures in your levels now. With that said, that's it from me, so I'll see you